Hello, in this session, I'm going to talk about what I call the $100,000 open house. And this open house process is designed for you to get more listings. See, normally when we schedule an open house, we think we're looking for buyers, but top agents understand that your mindset is that you are actually auditioning to be the attendee's listening agent. Normally I do this as about a 90-minute course. So I'm going to hit this hard and brief, and I'm going to invite you to spend a little bit of time on your own going to other people's open houses. And I want you, if you have new builders in your area, I want you to go there as a customer, not as a realtor. I want you to go to other agents' open houses and see how theirs compare to what we're talking about. And I want you to go to new builders and see how they market their properties. All right, so here's the process. You're getting ready to do an open house. Hopefully it's your own. Hopefully it's in your own farm, but even if it's another agent, all of these things can work. So your goal is to get out into the community surrounding that property at least 5 days prior to the event and pass out a flyer inviting them to the open house. You could do that once, you could do that twice. Look, even if they don't attend, you're winning because you're actually out there working, particularly if it's in your geographic farm. So at least the 250 homes around there, you're inviting them to the open house. I encourage you to make your open houses maybe a little bit longer. It could be 1 to 5 or 6 p.m. I encourage you to do open houses during the week. I encourage you to do an open house that's kind of a preview just for the neighbors. Think out of the box a little bit. Make sure your flyers look crisp when you're inviting people to this open house. We talk about circle farming calls, and that's also a great way to lead generate for new listings. In this case, you could actually use companies like Land Voice, Vulcan 7, the RedX, and you can get lists of phone numbers of the 250 people surrounding any property, quite frankly. But whether it's your listing or another listing of an agent in your office where you've gotten permission to do it, and you can actually make phone calls to all the individuals around there, again, inviting them to open house. Remember, your goal is to get as many of the neighbors in, to let as many of the neighbors as you can know that you're working hard to get this home sold for top dollar. That's called circle farming. And I'll just digress for a moment. Circle farming works in every instance. So you could actually just take a just listed property and call the 250 people around that and let them know, hey, we just listed your neighbor's home down the street. Gosh, do you know anybody that you'd like to have as your neighbor that's thinking about buying a home in this area? And when they answer that question, of course, your next question is, well, when are you folks thinking of moving? And you'll pick up listing leads from that. You'll pick up buyer leads from that. So you want to put a lot of energy prior to the open house. Maybe you're hosting a barbecue that day. Certainly, as I mentioned, you could host a neighbor preview, maybe earlier that day prior to the open house, or maybe a couple hours prior to the regularly scheduled open house. All right, the next thing you want to do is stage the property like a new home builder and also promote you. So what do I mean by that? Well, if they've put in new features in the property, put a table tent there that tells people as they get upstairs that they've upgraded something, or they've added a ceiling fan, or whatever they've done that really highlights that home. Promote the home like a new builder would. Have a contest worth at least $100. The date could be 60 days out. So it's a $100 mall shopping card or a $100 gift card at Lowe's. Get your affiliates to sponsor that and pay for it. You want to have a contest during the open house, and you want to have a big poster board that tells people they can enter the contest. You want to create a promotion packet on your listing to give to all attendees so that when they come in the house and they're thinking of buying, you know what? The first thing I want to know is they have a house to sell. Well, I want to make sure I've done such a good job of promoting the property and promoting myself throughout the property that when they leave, they've already decided I'm their realtor. Make sure you're serving refreshments. Have your affiliate support in all areas of marketing and perhaps even at the event. Why wouldn't your lender show up to help get set up, maybe help serve refreshments, and pre-qualify anybody that walks through the front door? All right, so marketing the property ahead of time is important. staging the property kind of like a new builder, and promoting you. Well, what do I mean by promoting you? So number one, bring whiteboards in that tell people you can save them thousands of dollars in costs and fees when buying or selling a home. Put up a poster board that shows all the marketing materials that you use to sell homes. If you're running local ads, if you do internet advertising, put it throughout the property so as the individuals are touring the home, they're learning more about the property, more about the area, and more about you. All right. Here's the key. Get rid of the guest book. Top agents don't use guest books. Your goal at open house is very simple. I ask agents this all the time. If 10 people came through an open house, who would convert more leads, you or me? And being the instructor, often the agents would say that I would. And you know what? I don't know that I would convert more leads than you would. Here's what I know for sure. I'll convert the one lead that matters the most. I'm going to take the guest book and I'm going to throw it away. You take the flyers out of the flyer box so the individuals have to come to you. Don't ask them if they're working with another agent. Here's the first question. Hi folks, do you live in the area? You want to find out, is it a neighbor or is it somebody that came from out of the area? Oh, okay, great. So you folks live right down the street. Perfect. Here's some information, etc., etc. All right, let's say they don't live right down the street. Well, where do you currently live? Oh, I understand. Are you familiar with the area? You want to know, are they familiar with the area? Do you currently have a home to sell? Look, your goal is to find out as quickly as possible where they're from and do they have a home to sell? Because if 3 or 4 people come into the home at one time, who do you focus on? For me, I'm looking for listing opportunities. So I'm going to focus on the individual that has a home to sell. I've already staged the home. I've already marketed it well. I've already got a great packet together that promotes the property. Now I need to build a relationship with people. You don't do that by having a guest book. If you just wanted to collect a bunch of email addresses and fake phone numbers, just pick up the phone book. Just go collect people's business cards. You can get email addresses all day long. All right, so give them the promo packet when you've introduced them and let them know that you have a prize giveaway and some refreshments. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to tour the house with them. Now, some people tour the house and they'll actually show everybody the features and benefits in the home. There's no right or wrong way to do this. For me, I kind of let them go into the rooms and I try to get input as they leave each room. What I'm really trying to do is listening for their buying and selling signals. I'm trying to learn more about what they want and I'm trying to build credibility. I'm trying to build some trust. I'm mainly trying to find out, is this an individual that I can do business with and that I want to do business with? I'm not there to say, hey, I had a great open house, 22 people came in, I got 15 email addresses, and I got a whole bunch of busy work to do. I don't really care how many people come in because I'm going to bring my other phone numbers with me. So if it's slow, I'm calling people I know. I'm taking care of business. I'm not sitting open house. I'm trying to connect with 1 or 2 or 3 key people to make sure that I've built a foundation with them so that when they leave that property, I'm their realtor, no matter who else they meet at any other open house. So when the customer is slowed down, when they're talking to you about their wants and needs, when they're giving you their phone numbers, when they're volunteering their email addresses, you've built a relationship with them. You've got more than a lead there now. You've got a lead in a relationship. You've got a lead in a relationship. You've marketed the home prior to the open house. You've staged the property. You've put 30 open house signs out there. You've made a big deal out of the property. As they come in the front door, you've done whatever you can to make it look more exciting. You've positioned yourself so that the neighbors, even if they don't come in, are saying, wow, that agent's done an extraordinary job. You'd be surprised how often I've gotten calls in my real estate career after an open house, and the people really weren't interested in purchasing that home, but they were so impressed with the job that I did marketing that home while it was on the market that they called me because they wanted to talk to me about selling their home. Open house in those neighborhoods is all about building more listings. You're going to get the buyer leads anyway. And when you list a home and you list it properly, there's always 2 more listings there when you flyer the 250 homes, when you do circle farm calls, when you're out in that market promoting what you're doing to get that home sold for top dollar. The open house tour is really a key where you're building that relationship with people. You're not hanging out with the kitchen and telling them to come back if they have any questions. You're trying to determine, who do I want to work with and do they want to work with me? Are they motivated? Are they realistic? Here's a fun trick that I always have to say. Sometimes people will say, well, I'm going to work with the agent that finds me a home. Well, here's what I let them know is, based on what you've just told me, folks, I can think of 1 or 2 key properties that I've just recently saw that I think might really fit exactly what you're looking for. And I recently talked with a homeowner that's thinking about selling. I want to make sure I've got the correct contact information so I can double check on those properties and get back to you. They'll often say, well, why don't you just give me the addresses and I'll drive by. And if they make sense for us, we'll give you a call. You know what, guys and gals? We don't make money doing that. And it's our job to let people know that. So my response to that's always very simple. You know what, folks? Here's what I found. What I do in real estate, this is what pays my bills and provides for my family. And I've never made money just handing out addresses. But I promise you this, if you choose to work with me and my team as your real estate professionals, we will leave no stone unturned to find you the right property, whether it's on the market, was on the market, might be on the market. We have more resources than the average real estate professional because we work our business more diligently. Therefore, we can only work with a handful of qualified buyers that are committed to working with us. That's how I make money in my business, and I would appreciate the opportunity to help you find the right property. You know what? Let people know. This is how you make money. You don't do that for free. We're not mules of information. We're not mules for our affiliates. We're professionals. And all the things that I just mentioned about properties that expired that they might buy, agents I know that work those areas that may have a listing coming up, those are all true statements. That adds more value. So you know what? I wanted to do this 100K open house briefly. I've told you before, it's really a 90-minute, 2-hour course, but I think I've given you enough content right here to get you excited about the opportunity with open house, excited about the opportunity to turn your open houses into listing opportunities, excited enough that you'll be better prepared, you'll know your market, you'll be able to provide more value, and you're going to win more of that quality business that walks through the front door and get your unfair share of both the listing opportunities in that market and the buyers looking for homes in that market. Thanks so much. See you at the top.